Hey Merfolk fans, I'm Joe. Thanks very much for joining me today. If you'd like to support my channel and all these videos I make, please check out the link above to my Patreon page. I'll also put the link down below in the description. I'm back with round 2 of a Modern League. I won the die roll again, playing against an opponent with a fancy gold avatar. Means they probably know what they're doing, and this is a pretty easy keep. Island AEther Vial, and Tron means these Spreading Seas are going to be great. Okay, we drew a Lord. And since we're on the play here, we have sort of the luxury of being able to run out a creature instead of going with the Spreading Seas. So it's actually Eldrazi Tron. Pretty scary matchup since I think they play like 4 Blast Zones or something like that. Okay, Matter Reshaper. It's a blocker, but we're going to have Spreading Seas online pretty soon. Okay, another Spreading Seas. Since we're going to be able to get Reejerey on the table through AEther Vial, I think I'm going to start taking them off their mana, hitting that Eldrazi Temple, hopefully taking them off of like a turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer. So there's that Singleton Echoing Truth in the main deck, and you can see how it can come in handy. Imagine they have, you know, one more land and they play another Matter Reshaper. That would be a pretty huge blowout. Expedition Map, and it looks like they don't actually have a third land. So pretty awesome sort of tempo hiccup there for us to take advantage of. I'm going to tap this Matter Reshaper, untap an island with Reejerey, and activate Mutavault. Take out a big chunk of their life total here. It's actually a 2-turn clock from this point. Okay, so on their turn, looks like they still didn't draw land. They find that Eldrazi Temple, and this should be pretty much game over. So we can't cast that Adept yet. But we can cast another Spreading Seas, taking them off their Eldrazi Temple. The idea with going with the double blue here was if I draw any land, it's going to keep this Mutavault live. And I did. So go ahead and activate Mutavault and swing for 10 here, making it pretty, sorry, it's actually 11. Pretty hard for the opponent to claw their way back into this. They did have another Tron land, and then it looks like they were going to cast Karn or something, but Karn, when you're dead on board and you have to tap out, is not really going to change very much. So pretty powerful game 1 against Eldrazi Tron. It's the kind of hand you want to see against them with some Spreading Seas, AEther Vial, Mutavaults. Pretty excellent. Let's go ahead to game 2 and see how that one went. Hey guys, back for game 2. I just realized I didn't show my sideboarding plan in the first round. So I guess I should go ahead and show you what I did in this round. So against Eldrazi Tron, obviously the 4 Tidebinder Mages aren't too great. I took out a couple of Benthic Biomancers, 1 Reejerey, and brought in 1 Deprive, 2 Dismember. See, so that's 1, 2, 3 cards out, and I would have brought in 1 Deprive and 2 Dismembers, I guess. Not actually changing that much in this current configuration. Oh, I'm sorry. There's actually much more than I brought in. Tidebinder Mage is not a sideboard card, it's a main deck card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards out. So then I brought in 2 Dismembers, 1 Deprive, 3 Phyrexian Revokers. They're pretty awesome. They can turn off Walking Ballista, Endbringer, Expedition Map. There's actually a good number of things that they hit in this deck. And then I think I brought in both Kiras as well. So 2 Kiras, 2 Dismembers. Let's see, 2 Dismembers, 3 Revokers. I can't remember how many Deprives I'm on in this list, if it was 3 or 4, but I kept in all the forces because they're definitely bringing in some removal type effects against us. They also run Karn, and we want to be able to counter that. This is another just super beautiful hand. Okay, mine into Expedition Map. Good start for them as well, and that force is just sort of icing on the cake. Okay, double Tron land map means turn 3 Tron is on its way. Because I have the force, I think I can afford to go ahead and run out a creature here. You know, we're the tempo deck. We need to establish a clock. while interacting. And we have the Force, so let's tap out. They play their land, and it's slightly punished here, I think, by the opponent running out Endbringer rather than, say, you know, a Karn or something, because Force can't counter creatures. So we're going to want to get these Lords online pretty quickly to get outside of Endbringer's sniping ability. Its ping, it can tap to deal 1 damage to any target. So Endbringer kind of punishing me for letting them get Tron online. Slightly a misstep on my part. I might lose 1 or 2 of my creatures because of that. But that Lord sort of lets me off the hook. I'm going to go ahead and Spreading Seas now, and then another Lord. So sort of a sigh of relief. You know, the opponent had sort of the perfect card in this particular spot, with me holding up Force, and with 2 creatures with 1 toughness that they could start picking off with Endbringer. Very fortunately, I drew the perfect card. Even though I had Lords in hand already, they're not going to be able to get on board until next turn when I can take AEther Vial up. So they went for Dismember, doing 4 damage to themselves, and Force is going to be perfect here. What did I pitch there? That's funny. I pitched Silvergill Adept. It's another unlikely play in this game. We pretty much never want to pitch Silvergills because they're one of our more valuable cards. But in this matchup where Walking Ballista is a threat and Endbringer pinging our creatures is a threat, and we want to just be able to kill them as quickly as possible, Lords seem better than Silvergills. So opponent does not reestablish Tron, and let's see, all they can do here is run out a Walking Ballista, so you can see keeping Lords is a pretty good plan, and very fortunate that we had that Spreading Seas, because you can only imagine what this Walking Ballista would be like if they had access to like 10 mana. So they're going to go ahead and ping that Lord now, and then ping him with Endbringer. Puts my creature's toughness back to 1. So I'm going to tick up this AEther Vial since we have 2 Reejereys. If I draw another island, I can Vial a Reejerey, cast the Lord, use the first Reejerey's trigger to untap the Vial, and get another Reejerey onto the table. Dismember is actually beautiful. Like, I drew so well this game, because I can force the issue right now by killing the Endbringer. If they try to ping one of my creatures, I Vial in the Reejerey, buff the Benthic Biomancer, and yeah, it's just kind of a blowout. We're going to swing for 5, clearly a 2-turn clock here. If the opponent doesn't rip an Urza's Tower, they're probably just dead. So run out Karn, and there's really not too much they can do here. I guess if they did rip a tower and are just slow rolling it, they could get Ensnaring Bridge, which would mean we could only attack. Well, no, because Ensnaring Bridge would add a card to their hand, right? Because they're going to choose an artifact card from outside the game, put it into their hand. So it goes up to 4 cards, back down to 3 cards. Ensnaring Bridge would leave them with 3 cards in hand, and I could still win through that. So after the opponent played Karn, they activated him, and then I think before they fetched anything, they just scooped, because as in the first game when they started tapping 4 mana, looking like they were going for Karn, Karn's not really that great when you're just super dead on board. Even if he was able to magically like lock my lands, obviously I've got 7 damage with creatures. So yeah, 2-0 again in this round. Potential misstep, not going for Spreading Seas on turn 2, rather running out the Silvergill Adept. But you saw the Dismember from the sideboard coming in clutch against that Endbringer. And yeah, a handful of Lords with AEther Vial is often going to be enough to do the job. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please take a moment and check out my Patreon page. I'd really appreciate it. Tune in for the next video where I'll be back with round 3 of this Modern League, and I'll see you there. Bye.